75, 85% of the salaries.
Correct.
What I'm saying to you is this. You can sit up there, whether it's a Ball, with an Ingram, a couple, all one-year contract, like a Contavious Caldwell-Pope, for example, who's in a one-year deal at $12 million. Yes, it can be done. So the question is, are you willing to do it? This is what the Lakers have to understand. Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. LeBron James, you got this 4-year window. You didn't just get LeBron James to fill up the seats, even though it's good for business, and that's always good for the Busters because they're not billionaires like Steve Ballmer or others. You got him because this 4-year window is about winning championships. You're not winning championships without a shot maker. Now, if you talked about getting Bradley Beal, if I talked about getting Bradley Beal in free agency, that would be different. No, I'm talking about a trade because it doesn't compromise what you want to do in free agency.
So do you think these Los Angeles Lakers, if they don't make the trade, still make it to the conference finals?
I still believe that because I think by default the Western Conference is not what it used to be, and I think that the Lakers could find a way to take advantage.
But do you like Beal with LeBron and in this group? Trade away 2 of the young kids and throw a contract in.
But it's the national media thing. What ends up happening is
we are the national media.
I know, but what I'm saying is that's correct. But it ain't our job to only try to create super teams in large markets.
But he's talking about something that could theoretically happen. LeBron James is in Los Angeles. Does it make sense to you to trade for Bradley Beal?
It makes sense for 29 teams to trade for Bradley Beal to me. Okay. That's my point.
Okay.
Not just the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, but
he will fit in Houston as well. Yeah. There are multiple teams he would fit with. He's a terrific player.
The only thing that I would like to take issue with Mr. Jalen Rose about Greeny is that he talks about the large market. I don't give a damn if L.A. was wasn't a top 30 market. The sunshine, the palm trees is what does it. It's not the fact that it's the top market. It's the sunshine and the palm trees that come along with it.
But LeBron, you've told me many times Klay Thompson's not going there to play with him. So if he needs a shooter, Beal is that kind of guy, and they would still have the ability to sign Durant, Davis, or not Davis because he's not a free agent, but someone like that next
summer.
And
I'll tell you a secret. Bradley Beal is more than just a shooter. He's actually a player. He can handle off the dribble. He can lock down on deep.
Bradley Beal is a baller.
When he's playing against James Harden the other day, Harden had 54 points, right?
Yeah.
He was 1 for 7 against Beal and has 7 turnovers. So Beal actually plays defense. He's more than just a shooter.
He's more than just a shooter. He's a class guy for the organization. They know he's the better of the two because he's 3 years younger and has 2 less years on his contract than John Wall. And John Wall and Bradley Beal together have proven they can't do but so much. So if you're Ernie Grunfeld and you're cap strapped because of all of these bad contracts, Otto Porter is the highest paid player on the Wizards, you know. Yeah. Right now, this year he's getting paid $26 million. You've got to make some kind of change. And if you could get guys in 1-year deals, clear some money off your cap, plus get a talent like Brandon Ingram. If I'm the Wizards, you got to think about doing it, but I wouldn't hesitate to do it if I was the Lakers.
Hold on. You trying to get Ernie Grunfeld fired? Now you gonna trade Bradley Beal for Contavious Caldwell-Pope?
No. I was talking about the abundance of players and stuff that you could get.
You can get the young guys.
I mentioned Brandon Ingram and Lonzo. How you forget about that?
I'm not trading.
I'm saying how you gonna bring up one guy? I said 4.
No, but you can't. That's not. I'm not trading Bradley Beal for the potential of Brandon Ingram.
Okay. But you have to break these 2 guys up. You have to trade one of them. You've made up your mind already.
But that don't mean I got to trade him to the Lakers.
That's fair.
No,
That's fair. No, but I'm asking you what would your alternative be?
Let me very quickly wrap this up by making you the reporter that you frequently are as opposed to the pundit that you frequently are. Is there any chance it happens? Is that a realistic possibility?
I think if it's the Lakers, it's a legitimate chance it happens. If it's Ernie Grunfeld and the Wizards, they're highly hesitant because they're very fond of Bradley Beal, not just as a player, but as a person, and he doesn't have the drama with him that Wall has. That's hard to give up.
Speaking of someone who's playing MVP caliber basketball right now, that would be Bradley Beal. Guys, he has been a man amongst boys. He dropped 35, 5, and 4 against Houston. Bradley Beal leads the NBA in scoring, yet the Wizards have the worst record in the NBA. And many have wondered about the possibility of Washington trading him. Max, so if they were to deal Beal, what do you think would be the best situation for him?
The Bucks, or at least that's the team I think that needs him the most to put them over the top. I say this religiously on this show, as Stephen A. would say. Stephen A., your assessment of Giannis several years ago, hey, in the playoffs, he's going to play like a big, was right on the money. That's exactly what happened. Credit where it's due. But what does that mean about Giannis? It means we can't really judge him based on the way we judge the perimeter players, because the history of the NBA has always been, in the modern era, if you're a great big and you want to win a championship, you better have a great non-big who's just as good as you, more or less, who's on that level in order to win a championship. I mean, the couple times it happened, like Hakeem did it because Jordan was out of the league. So he was going up against Patrick Ewing with no help, right? Or Shaq, who had Penny but did not have Kobe or Wade. You better have a dude who's on your level, who's not a big, who can go get his own shot, who can create all of that. Kareem had Oscar and Magic, won 6 chips, 1-0 without them. Shaq, I just said Penny wasn't even enough, had Wade and Kobe, of course, 4 chips, none without them. A great big needs another great player, especially a perimeter player who's great. Drew Holiday is excellent. I like Drew Holiday a lot. Stephen A., that's not him. Drew Holiday, look, had AD. AD had Drew Holiday. They didn't do anything. Drew Holiday is a fantastic player. He's not what I'm talking about. And so is Middleton, and he's not what I'm talking about. Bradley Beal, I think, qualifies, particularly when you see what he can do this season. When the handcuffs are off, when he's getting a lot of touches. Bradley Beal, if he's not it, is the next thing to it, is what the Bucks need to put them over the top, and I think that's the team that should be most interested in him.
I don't mind that pick at all, Max Kellerman, but before I give you mine, let me say a couple of things, y'all, for the purposes of just my NBA connections in this show. Bradley Beal is a star. He deserves better than what he's getting in the nation's capital. I like Scott Brooks. I'm very, very fond of Tommy Shepard, who's now the GM, and he's running basketball operations for them. I like Tommy. I wish him nothing but the best. He's a good dude, and he knows basketball. He was in our business, you know, in terms of media relations and communications and all that stuff in Denver years ago. But he's a great, great guy, and I'm happy for him, and I wish him nothing but the best. But the Washington Wizards at this particular moment in time are atrocious. They are horrible, and it's primarily because of their defense. Last year, they gave up 119 points per game, if I remember correctly, and I think they were ranked like second to last. This year, they're second to last, but they're giving up 120 points. Bradley Beal was quoted over a week ago, Max, saying, "We can't stop a parked car. We can't guard a parked car."
That's a good quote.
That's how bad he described their defense, okay? And if you saw him, and Molly, it's one of those things, and you reading body language as adroitly as you can do it, just go back and watch the video of Bradley Beal on the bench, just shaking his head and his hands are fidgety and all of that stuff. That is the sign of someone, Max and Molly, who's about to lose it. They can't take it anymore, okay? That's
Absolutely.
where he's at. Tommy Shepard, Scott Brooks, you got to get Bradley Beal up out of there. He's a tremendous asset, but you got to get him up out of there. And Russell Westbrook, I just feel sorry for him because even though you're averaging 18 and 10, you shooting like 30-something% from the field, 30% from three-point range. Love Russell Westbrook, the offensive juggernaut that he can be, but damn, you got to go out there and get a better perimeter shot, and he just hasn't had that all of these years. With all of that being said, even though I don't disagree with you about the Bucks, Max, I tell you, if there's any way the Clippers could get themselves Bradley Beal to pair with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, you do it because I think that's their chance of coming out of the West. You understand? Before, when we think about Giannis, why are we thinking about what pieces he needs? Because we talk about winning the chip, right? Well, how could the Clippers possibly position themselves to win the chip? By getting somebody like Bradley Beal, with a Paul George, with a Kawhi Leonard, Lord have mercy. That could potentially be special because I'm here to tell you, I don't know what the hell's going on with the Clippers. They've been winning games, but they've been winning games with Ty Lue basically not playing Lou Williams that much. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, lemon pepper Lou, sweet Lou. I expect the brother this brother can drop buckets with the best of them. I expected to see more. Something's going on there. I never liked the Luke Kennard pickup. I know he can shoot the ball and all of that stuff, but he just doesn't, it doesn't work for me with him with the Clippers. I just don't like it. You know, I'm not calling him out. I just don't like that pairing. You know what I'm saying? When I think about Bradley Beal with a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers, we can sit up there and talk about how they'd be a threat to the Lakers all we want. They ain't beating no damn Los Angeles Lakers. It's presently constructed. They are not getting past the Los Angeles Lakers. They get Bradley Beal to pair with Kawhi and Paul George. I'm not saying it could happen, but if they were lucky enough to pull that off, oh, we got a different story to tell.
Right. That would be my second destination for him, would be the Clippers. And the thing about him on the Clippers, which, they have no draft picks left because they had to spend it all on Paul George. But if somehow, in some way, that could be arranged, what they would have in common with the Nets, they'd have a legit big three. And the crazy thing about that big three, just like the Nets, they can all three get their own shots and score from anywhere. And that is, I don't know if that's ever happened before until the Nets, and then it would happen again with the Clippers. Yeah, Bradley Beal is a balance of power kind of player in the NBA if he's on the move right now.